are on Aflao TV, the heart of Africa. We are transmitting from Avoeme Aflao in the Ketu South municipality of the Volta region. We are live on Facebook, your multi-TV channel, as well as on other social media platforms in Ghana, La Côte d'Ivoire, Italy, Gambia, and South Africa. We invite you to be part of our programs through our sponsorship packages. In this edition, NDC Vice Presidential candidate in the 2020 elections, Professor Nana Opoku Agyeman, consoles families of the Apam children disaster. More than 300,000 Ghanaians have been vaccinated against the COVID-19 disease. We will take you to Cape Coast for a report on that. In entertainment, Ebony Driver has been remanded into prison's custody. Across the country's borders, Ivorian Prime Minister Hamid Bakayoko has died of cancer in Germany at age 56. This and many more stories we have for you today. My name is Seraphine Dikro. Stay tuned. Last Sunday saw the end of more than 12 children who were drowned in the coastal of Apam in the central region. The children were aged between 14 and 17. Following the tragedy, vice presidential candidates of the opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC) in the 2020 elections, Professor Nana Opoku Agyeman, has visited members of the bereaved families at Apam to mourn with them.
One of the leaders of the Apam fishing community, Nana Kojo Mensah, hinted that one other body of another child was found without the head and penis on Thursday and has since been buried because the body has decayed beyond reasonable doubts. Meanwhile, the vice presidential candidate of the NDC in the 2020 general elections, Professor Nana Opoku Agyeman, also visited the bereaved family to console them. She described the incident as sad, hoping that the families would overcome these trying moments of their lives. Professor Nana Opoku Agyeman further cautioned the parents to be vigilant about their children to avoid such a tragedy again in the future. According to her, the death of the children was so worrying and devastating.
Kakra omuno munua kwansa waka onye de he nyina onchere bia ya nta asamdam no ba ayepa ne chefi wonum asampo wasa osane hu asama wara baka hu awre chichi sembi abaka mobi na akoma wato ne yem moma na akoma wato ne yem osono ya asama num yeduru num yehyew enemom nti kakra ya baka anye da ya baha ya bachichi ehe nyina yenre na wonhu de ehe nyina ne he na azachew ehe nyina ne he na azawayew nya hu nko oye nyina obandam abatan bia ne yem hihyen obi a ne yem hihyen osono ya asama obotum atubia na wa bandam nti ebesre bandam na he ne mesi afipo ne ehu amanze na yan titi honi ye na oyedam batan yezo obi ahu ne yeda nti yebesre azenyipa na akoma ahyehyew dadaw ne yanka ne kase yanka no nkofa bi ne nchefi akoma no boto kra nti enyina yebesre abotar na mom ya sra kase ya sra mpaibo nyame na onje yambe wono kra onfansie ye emre no so amhon baby papa mo atra na he na ya aka no so nyame na ron chiche henere na he nyina so sebe ya hwe ya ahwe kakra ya ko he na nyimi na ohawa otedam no do atetew kra na nche no dupo we fi ho na yenya he na asomje ye zatena ho nti e baya e ba honi nchiam ye ba honi nsrahwem ye ba so de ye ba chiche he nyina yenre ya be so agye he na atena ho fefefe ye da wana ase ye bantam nchane fo bia so bibi ore nso agye ni nyina wa aba obehia he ye da wana ase nyame nsire he nyina onkrokro he nyina ye ndo ma he na asomdwe no onko ne nyimi nda wana ase pi.
The Deputy Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Adolfo Ofosu, says over 300,000 Ghanaians have been vaccinated against COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Adolfo Ofosu disclosed this in an interview with journalists during the 2020 Central Regional Health Service annual performance review in Cape Coast. The two-day event was under the theme Achieving Health Coverage Containing the COVID-19 Pandemic, Improving Good Governance and Service, and the Role of Stakeholders.
The annual performance review of the Regional Health Directorate, as the phrase depicts, is to enable the Regional Health Directorate to review activities of all its district health directorates within the 2020 year so as to improve upon all health indicators and ultimately the quality of health care to the people. The former provost of the University of Cape Coast School of Medical Sciences, Reverend Professor Harold Amonu Kofi, lauded a theme chosen for the review on account that it will not just help arrest the COVID-19 menace but also improve upon the performance of health workers in the region. In her address, the Central Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Mrs. Akosia Sapong, noted that though the performance of the health staff in the region was generally good, maternal mortality and the advent of the COVID-19 have been major challenges facing the region. She therefore used the occasion to plead with all to heed to the COVID-19 protocols and also get vaccinated against the virus.
One of our major concerns is the issue of maternal deaths. No woman should die while and are pregnant women to quickly come to facilities when they are pregnant, when they are delivering, or they are in labor. So these are some of the strategies that we have put in place to try and address maternal death. The regional response towards COVID-19 is very good, very effective, and health staff are working hard, they are concerned and they are working hard to address the issues concerning the pandemic. And then vaccination in the two districts are going on well. People are coming for the vaccines, but the COVID-19 vaccines, but we encourage them to come, more to come and take up the vaccine, because we know that this will protect us. You know, it will protect us and also prevent spread and prevent severe disease.
The Deputy Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Adolfo Ofosu, pointed out that the service is instituting packages that will help its staff in rural communities. Touching on the theme chosen for the annual review in both Akan and English interviews, Dr. Anthony Adolfo Ofosu expressed regret about how the social media have hindered the citizenry from volunteering in the ongoing national vaccination against the COVID-19 pandemic. That notwithstanding, he noted that the move by the President and top politicians as well as the media to be publicly vaccinated has in a way encouraged over 300,000 people to be vaccinated against the disease.
One of them, the issue that vaccines will change the DNA and all that, and vaccines will make you impotent, vaccines will make you infertile. The evidence that is there about COVID-19 vaccine does not show that. Vaccines have been very useful for us in the world in general, in Ghana in particular. Since 1972, we've deployed vaccines to prevent childhood illnesses and death. And we've achieved quite a lot with vaccines in Ghana. Initially, we had only 6 vaccines to prevent what we used to call the 6 killer diseases in children. And to date, no child has died of measles in Ghana since 2008. Now, when you go to the primary school, you don't see any child with polio limb. It's gone. a lot of medical students have never seen diphtheria before. They've never seen whooping cough before. And they will never see it because you see, and the technology that is used for vaccines is the same technology. I mean, and the research, the way it is done, there are phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. For the COVID vaccine, none of the phases was shortchanged. People complain that, oh, how did they develop this vaccine suddenly? I mean, just a short period. Vaccine take ages. Yes, in the past, because of lack of technology, vaccine used to take ages. But now with the current technology and because of the cases of COVID that we had in the world, the numbers were there to get the results fast. So the phase 1, which will look at, I mean, if that whether there's any bad thing in the vaccine that will harm the human being, that one was done. Phase 2 was done. Phase 3 was done. None of the phases was interrupted. So vaccines do work. And so that's the reason why we are trying to tell people that this vaccine is safe. Let's go for it. And it is the only way we can break the pandemic. So far, about 300,000 people plus have taken the vaccine. And I mean, we can see that the desire to take the vaccine is going up, which we know that, I mean, so it shows that at least we are dealing and allaying the fears and anxiety of people concerning the vaccines.
Dr. Adofo Ofosu also used the occasion to rebut the erroneous assertion that infertility is one of the reactions of the COVID-19 vaccination.
And so we and so we so because you say one go vaccine na e bia wo de offer say wo ho ye na ubetimi anya yare na ye hu say COVID-19 de enu obi e di ankora wunya COVID-19 so say na enu di so obi wo ha na de na anya ne hwe so enti wo na one go vaccine e bia one go vaccine enti wenya yare no de akosa na odofo bia wo so wo so aka kire na ato na dwum say mo ngo wo na na bia na say wo ne wawu so ono de yare ni be kunu so entine enwe wonko a ho so ha enne e kan say so bibia ye wo wiase mo na ye de koye ni pedue mu no side effects kakra wo ho embo aduane kura ye di side effects kakra wo ho enti no ense say ye hwe because on side effects de kakra wo ho enyi ni penyina at least on ye phase 3 no side effects de bia ye hu ebi ni ehutimi ye hye baby a ye wo ne pane ye na ehutimi eye ne yakakra ne honam timi ye ne mre ebinom abotimi fono ebinom ani so timi ebrimo ebinom timi enya ewa ne eyi kakra so but obi a wo se ne ye no obi wo ha hwe nya no kra wo pane no hwe nya no.
Highly picked residents of Amwama, a community located within the Atwima Nwabiaja North District of the Ashanti region, have clenched their fists against the ongoing encroachment of colossal stretch of land sharing boundary with the Barikete River. Identifying the area in question as part of the stool of the land community, the leadership of the concerned youth Amwaman said on Wednesday that encroachers have sold out several acres of the land for building and farm activities, characterized by a high level of deforestation. The aforementioned illegality, according to the group, has been happening for over 3 years, adding that authorities who matter have over the years failed to address the issue.
President for the group, Osei Kwado, gave a historical account that the encroached area in question was given out many years ago by their ancestors to indigents of 3 communities in the area, namely Amisare, Esumenya, and Kokoben, as a place of settlement. He indicated that they were later resettled by government to Esofua due to the seasonal overspillage effect of the Barikese Dam, with its attendant consequences on their properties during the wet season. The president vehemently and vociferously set the record straight by emphasizing that they will not sit down to watch the destruction of the Barikese River and the encroachment of their stool land property. He emphasized that they as a group have plans in advance to effect any legal means possible to stop the menace.
The concern youth among mine, ya fa so ho say obubolobo ade a re Nyankopon de da mi che atwuma bi agya district no ya fa to ya ho say ye nhwe ma pensei na enoma ekoso ho no nua be ma eya say forest kakraka Nyankopon de agya ye ya ibunsu no ho ba no enipa bi eton de kukufu na adisira de yesere aban besere opemiso ye Asante Mewura ene Asante Regional Minister ene Ghana penifo mu kan bi wum se yesere wum mani amehwe bare kese dam na enipa bi yedi nti dam na esei nti de ka chiru mu se yesere wum mani mra no mu hwe bare kese dam no anya sa efi du edi enimu no ebe ye dene se ibinyensu ewo Asante Region hanom esei tina kakra mo ka me kan se hawa e de ma ye ne se mfie kakra me nua kan yi anhwe be 10 years time no nsuo a ye benom no Asante Region kura na be ye din na de di kan ye nsuo mienu na ye wo ye ha Asante Region friends atwema nwa bieja ba ko ewo friends owabe say eno adi kan asai enti say ya yesu ya mayeni amre amoma youth ya ma concern youth ya mayeni amre na se de barekese daim no so ya nsu ya mayeni amre be kakra na nsuo ebe ko region foforo na akokra nsuo aba Asante Region aba sanso ana akoya arehosem nti de ye kan kire mpanimfo omanpanyin opemso ne mpanimfo mu ka bia ewom ewo oman mu ese yesere wo mu se wo mantwa wo mani amehwe barekese daima emfie kakra a edi enimu ya yanso ye ho be kire wo nsuo ho pa gise bia region foforo so na ye bekwa kopensu e ba sa na akoya arehosem kakra me so me woka
arehosem se nsuo esoma Asante man mienu ye tena ho ahwe ama nsuo no mienu nyina akọ woseye mu ebane sa na se sebe ankoya mpanyimfo mfa nkyem ne ni panyini ewo oman mu anampatem ayeti anankuro nketo ayeti mu nti no ene ade a mene memra ntie nyina ye de ato ye ho so se ye behwe ne bitu ho anamo a esefata ti anamo esefata no ebi ni se ya ye krata eye petition ade akosere Asante Mayura so onhwe onfa nani emra nsuo no ho emaye atoso biem district assembly omonso yama wo lete wata nsuo eja wo so hwe nsuo no so onso yama wo krata no bi se omonto mani mehwe ni nyina ye mfa nka bo mu enhwe nsuo no ne ntime nso ma Asante man nti anamo a yetu edinkai no nti ye hwe de beba akiri ti ye hu bibia anamo a wa akiri so ebeba na emom ansa na yetu anamo we nyina ye ni nipa binom akasa a o magia to me dru ho a ye ne waterfo no enso be kan bom a ye penua on be boa ya me atonua asa adua e wa asase no ntisa Asante man ye be kra nsuo e ba ne sa so ana ya yoro hosem.
We will go for a quick break. We'll be right back. A deputy director of the Youth Employment Agency, Philip Cesar Kuma, has allegedly beaten his girlfriend to death at Avedapa in the Akachi North district of the Volta region. According to the Volta Regional Police PRO, Sergeant Prince Dogbache, the victim, Elizabeth Yesuto, complained to her friends the constant abuse by her lover but failed to heed to advice to report the abuses to the police.
Philip Cesar Kuma is now in police custody assisting investigation. Philip, 31, is the deputy director of the Youth Employment Agency in charge of the Akachi North district. According to sources, he has been assaulting the deceased for some time now. In one such case, the victim was hospitalized, but after she gained her health back, she went to withdraw the case. There have been various instances where Philip had abused the lady. Sergeant Dogbachi told Francis Aban on the Morning Star program on Thursday. The victim, who was a level 300 student of the Evangelical Presbyterian University College at Ho, died at the Ho Teaching Hospital on Monday, March 8, 2021, after the alleged assault. Yesuto Elizabeth Akpalu, who was rushed to the Ho Teaching Hospital by her friends on Sunday around 4 p.m., complained of severe chest pains. She, however, died in the early hours of Monday, March 8, Volta Regional Police PRO Francis Dogbachi said. There are claims that the first physical abuse by her boyfriend took place in December last year. Although the case was reported to the Avedakpa police, it was withdrawn later to be settled amicably by the two parties. The Volta Regional Police PRO said the Volta Regional Police Command has initiated investigations into the incident. Currently, bits and pieces of information that we have picked from the students and some other individuals suggest that the deceased suffered from assault from her boyfriend.
The Asin Central lawmaker Kennedy Ejapon has said he is against the free supply of the vaccines to Ghana. In this view, the free supply of the vaccines to developing countries by the developed economies will further the increase of the over-reliance on them by the third world countries for support. Mr. Ejapon hinted that he is ready to give the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, an amount of $1 million to buy the vaccines.
Speaking on Net2 television network on Wednesday, 10th March 2021, the businessman called on his fellow Ghanaian businessmen to rise and support the government to procure the vaccines. I am not bragging, but I am prepared to give Akufo-Addo $1 million to procure the vaccines, the Asin Central MP said. I don't like the idea of always going to the developed countries to beg for support as though we cannot do anything for ourselves, he added. Ghana has so far received 600,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines from the Serum Institute of India. The West African country became the first country to take delivery of the COVAX vaccines when it received the consignment at the Kotoka International Airport recently. Already, the vaccine deployment plan has been well received by the World Health Organization (WHO). The vaccine deployment plan we submitted to the WHO, which unlocked the consignment, was well received, President Akufo-Addo said on Sunday, 28 February 2021, in a television broadcast address to the nation.
The driver in charge of the vehicle that caused the death of the hip life artist Priscilla Opoku Kwatan, alias Ebony, has been remanded into prison custody by the Nkwawe Circuit Court. Oko Panchate was in charge of the Jeep car with registration number AS49716, which was involved in the accident that claimed the lives of the hip life songstress and two others at a spot between Nyamibechure and Nsuta on the Sunyani Kumasi Highway on 8 February 2018.
Chate pleaded not guilty to the charges of dangerous driving and driving without license and would reappear before the court presided over by Mr. Johnson Abbey on March 24th this year. Police Chief Inspector Jonas Newlife Eje told the court that the accused was driving Ebony 20, Franklin Mamiya Nkansa 27, and Lance Corporal Francis Achu Vondi 29 from Sunyani to Accra on that fateful day. He said when Oko got to the spot around 11:45 p.m. where there was a heap of sand on his lane, he swerved to the other lane to avoid running into the sun. Unfortunately, however, he ran into some railings at the edge of the road, killing the 3 occupants of the vehicle. According to the prosecution, Oko sustained injuries and was rushed to the Beijing Government Hospital for treatment. Chief Inspector AJ said investigation revealed that Oko's driving license had expired on August 28, 2015, about 3 years before the accident. According to the prosecution, upon advice from Attorney General's office, the accused was charged and brought before the court.
Quick break, we'll be right back. Welcome back from the break. We now take our foreign news. Students in the South African University at the national capital, Johannesburg, have been protesting since Monday, blocking roads and causing general disruption over alleged financial exclusion by the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. The scheme, which has been set up to help financially disadvantaged students, has run out of money over the years and therefore has no budget available to assist new students to register for the academic year.
Violence has escalated at the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, South Africa, when police fired rubber bullets and stun grenades to disperse student protesters who killed one person. We condemn any form of violence and call on all persons to keep calm during this very difficult time. Witwatersrand University senior executive team said in a statement, adding that some students had been injured. Several protesters were also arrested, while South Africa's police watchdog has launched a probe into the death of the 35-year-old man.
We took it to the picket line. We went down by South Point and we started protesting. We were blocking the road. When we were there, police came without any negotiations or without any conversations. They just started firing. They started firing stun grenades. They started firing rubber bullets. Everyone dispersed and a lot of students were arrested. 4 students were arrested, and right now they're still in the cell. They're still in jail right now as we speak.
The students demanded that the university allow those in arrears on their fees, sum up to $9,800, be allowed to register for the 2021 academic year. Many students have fallen into arrears because of economic hardships caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Students have since January staged sporadic protests over the alleged exclusion of some 8,000 people with outstanding debts. With university spokeswoman Shirona Patel told AFP that the protesters blocked a public road, the police tried to disperse them, and the passers-by were shot in the crossfire. The enraged students later gathered near the body, singing apartheid struggle songs.
Still on foreign news, La Côte d'Ivoire's Prime Minister Hamed Bakayoko, who was receiving treatment for cancer, passed away on Wednesday at a hospital in Germany, where he was receiving treatment just 2 days after his 56th birthday. He was appointed Prime Minister in July 2017, following the sudden death of his predecessor, Amadou Gon Coulibaly.
Mr. Bakayoko was flown to France in February for medical examinations and was later transferred to Germany due to his deteriorating health condition. He was a former journalist and also founder of the newspaper The Patriot. He later turned to politics and played a prominent mediation role in the First Ivorian Civil War in the early part of the year 2000. President Alassane Ouattara described Mr. Bakayoko as a great statesman, an example to young people, and a man of exemplary loyalty. He was a key player in the political game and a major player in reconciliation. His true shame, Isiaka Sankare, spokesperson for the opposition Ivorian Popular Front Party, told AFP news agency. Aside from his role as Prime Minister, Mr. Bakayoko was also the country's defense minister. Patrick Achi has been appointed as interim Prime Minister, while Tene Birahima Ouattara, a younger brother of the president, has been named interim defense minister.
We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back. That's all we've got for you today. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. NDC vice presidential candidate in the 2020 election, Professor Nana Opoku Ejiman, consoles families of the Apam children disaster. More than 300,000 Ghanaians have been vaccinated against the COVID-19 disease. We will take you to Cape Coast for a report on that. In entertainment, Ebony driver has been remanded into prison custody. Across the country's borders, Ivorian Prime Minister Hamid Bakayoko has died of cancer in Germany at age 56. This and many more we have for you. Thanks to all my productions.